So you want to sell a property in Ontario with tenants living in it. Let me stop you right there. It's not as simple as just throwing up a for sale sign and collecting your check after. I've been through this myself, and let me tell you, there are lessons that I learned the hard way, from legal landmines to scheduling chaos to tenants who suddenly decide that they're like part-time real estate lawyers. This video is gonna break down everything that I wish I knew before I sold my own tenanted property. So let's get into it. First, understand this. You can sell a tenanted property anytime in Ontario, but you can't just kick the tenant out because you decided to sell. So in Ontario, the lease survives the sale. If a tenant is on a fixed term lease, let's say, the new owner inherits the lease and inherits the tenant. If the tenant is on a month-to-month lease, then you can only terminate if the buyer is actually moving in themselves. And even then, you need to give 60 days notice, align with the rental cycle, and serve the proper form. If you miss a step, you're starting all over again. Trust me, tenants these days, they know their rights probably better than you do. Okay, next lesson. Just because you have the right to show the property, it doesn't mean it'll be easy. In Ontario, landlords must give 24 hours written notice to show a property, and even then, it has to be at a reasonable time. Here's the real world problem. Tenants don't like showings. That's the reality. They can block access, they can forget to tidy up, they can make the place straight up unshowable without technically violating anything. And that affects buyers' interests, of course, it affects offer prices, and obviously affects the days on market that you'll be on as a seller. So, bottom line here is this. If your tenant isn't cooperative, your sale is going to be uphill. So, what's the move then? If you want a smooth sale, you have two options. Number one, build rapport with the tenant, explain what's happening, offer flexibility, set clear expectations, and show them respect. Sometimes that's all that's enough. Number two, compensate. If you need vacant possession or easier access, pay them to leave. It's not fun, I know, but offering them 1 or 2 months rent in writing with proper terms can be a lot faster, cheaper, and honestly less painful than a 6-month war. It's not just about being nice here. It's about protecting your sale price and timeline. We're gonna move on. You found the buyer by now, that's all great, but here's where most landlords slip up. In Ontario, once you sold your property and the buyer intends to move in, you need to serve the tenant with proper notice. Proper formal notice, I should say. Usually, this is an N12 or an N11 form, and you need to do it immediately after an accepted agreement. But here's the catch. Just serving the notice doesn't guarantee anything. The tenant can still decide not to leave, and that puts you and the buyer in a risky spot. So here's what I recommend, and also what I've learned the hard way. File an L2 application with the landlord and tenant board at the same time. The L2 is your just-in-case play. It's the form you use to formally start the eviction process. And filing the L2 early means you're not scrambling at the last minute if the tenant decides not to move out on the agreed upon date. No, it's not mandatory, but it is smart, because if the tenants do stay past their deadline and you haven't filed the L2, you're stuck in limbo. And worst case, the buyer might not be able to take possession, which could lead to delays, lawsuits, legal drama between you and your purchaser. And trust me, this is not a mess you want to clean up or be involved in. So again, serve proper notice, use the right form, and if you suspect even a little bit that the tenant might not leave, file the L2 ahead of time. Better early than sorry. So selling a tenanted property in Ontario, it's not impossible, but it's not plug and play either. Get the paperwork right, stay ahead of the timeline, and don't assume things. One wrong move, and you could blow the whole deal up or land in legal trouble. I learned all of this the hard way, but trust me, you don't have to. If you're thinking about selling a rental property or you want to talk strategy, you can always drop a comment or book a call in the link below. All the best, take care.